told your friend you're not okay.
Taehyung cries seeing this. The euphoria of the Arirang World Tour in Tampa, when BTS, ARMY, and the entire city unite in a sea of purple that shakes the world. Breaking K-pop news. What happened in Tampa tonight not only left millions of ARMYs around the world speechless, but it also brought Taehyung to tears. Tampa just created one of the most magnificent moments in Arirang World Tour history, and you have to see every second of it before it's too late. Hello, ARMYs worldwide, and all the true fans who have made their love for the 7 stars a part of their lives. Welcome back to the most emotional and heart-pounding update of the entire Arirang World Tour. Even before we get to the heart of the story, my heart is already pounding just remembering what happened in Tampa, a city completely transformed into a vibrant, sparkling, and magical purple world. From the very first moment the Arirang World Tour news mentioned Tampa in the list of destinations, the excitement felt like a tidal wave that hit the entire fandom. Many said Tampa would be different, but no one was truly prepared for how the entire city transformed into a symbol of the love, loyalty, and support that had been building for years between ARMY and BTS. And sure enough, once that day arrived, the world seemed to stop for a moment. ARMY conquers Ticket Hill, an unforgettable view. It all started with a massive competition for tickets. It wasn't just a queue, it was a sea of people united by a common goal: to get inside the venue and be a part of history. Imagine a usually quiet green hill filled with ARMYs of all ages, standing shoulder to shoulder, phones held high, faces tense yet hopeful. The energy was so intense it was almost palpable. Many said, even if we lose the ticket war, we'll keep fighting like this. And those weren't just words. They were vows. They were proof that ARMY's love for their members knows no boundaries, distance, or time. That moment alone was enough to move anyone, and according to rumors, Taehyung saw the post on Weverse and teared up at the sheer volume of love that flowed in unceasingly. Raymond James Stadium transformation, a place that turned into a purple workshop. When the first aerial photos came out, it immediately exploded on social media. Raymond James Stadium, usually awash in sports colors, was drastically transformed into a majestic arena with touches of purple in every corner. The stage slowly rose, giant screens glowed, awaiting the members' visuals, and the endless stretch of red seats seemed like a grand carpet leading to the pinnacle of glory. Every detail radiated love. Every corner exuded attention. Every element reflected BTS's standards: high, artistic, and soulful. Seeing that alone was enough to make ARMY nostalgic for past tours, where each city seemed to be given a new identity simply by their arrival. Night soundcheck, a nostalgic moment that makes the heart flash. Then came the soul-stirring moment, soundcheck. Blue and red lights danced across the still empty stadium, cutting through the darkness of the Tampa sky. Within the cavernous space, the members' voices echoed softly, filling the air with longing, hope, and lasting memories. ARMYs outside the stadium screamed in disbelief. Someone wrote, "They're sound-checking. Oh my god, this is really happening." Behind the high stadium walls, the sound of their practice seemed to penetrate the walls and touch the hearts of everyone listening from afar. It felt like a throwback to the good old days when BTS still struggled through rain, heat, and long nights, but always gave their all. That's what made this moment so touching. Their dedication remained the same, even increased. And then, Tampa did something no one expected. The entire city turned purple. Bridges sparkled, tall buildings were illuminated in a soft purple glow, pedestrians were decorated with lights reflecting the fandom's signature color, and local media outlets all over the world shared photos of Purple Tampa. Post after post filled the internet. Thank you, Tampa Purple Heart. Tampa goes purple for BTS. An entire city lights up for them. Many ARMYs said they cried when they saw it. According to several reports, Taehyung also saw the video of the city's transformation. He reportedly looked down, smiled, and shed a small tear, not out of sadness, but out of emotion and moved by the genuine love. And it turns out, Tampa wasn't done surprising us. In fact, after all the incredible moments we've discussed, From the ticket hill filled with ARMY, the city's purple transformation, the emotionally stirring soundcheck, and the warm welcome at the airport, the following night was the culmination. This is where all that love, effort, and dedication culminated in a massive wave of joy that even brought Taehyung to tears. As the city lights dimmed and Tampa's air began to warm with the crowds moving toward the stadium, the atmosphere transformed into something beyond words. ARMY came from all over. Some traveled long distances, some camped out overnight, some came with their families, and still others stood alone, feeling as if they had thousands of brothers and sisters around them. Just before the concert began, the roar of the sea of people sounded like ocean waves. Purple light sticks vibrated in the air, creating a scene like stars moving together. Every gust of wind carried the scent of expectation, longing, and years of suppressed love. And then, the giant screen lit up. It was as if time stood still. The intro filled the air. The stage lights cut through the darkness. Then they appeared. The 7 members stepped to the center of the stage with meaningful gazes, as if to say, "We're back, with you." And in that moment, many ARMY realized the enormity of the journey they had been on together. Taehyung stood in the corner of the stage, his eyes sweeping across the stadium. As he saw the endless sea of purple, the buildings reflecting purple light in the distance, and the ARMY holding banners that read, "We waited for you," his expression changed. His smile was beautiful, but his eyes began to well up with tears. He bit his lip, looked down for a moment, then lifted his face with a soft smile that could only come from the deepest gratitude. Seconds later, as one of the VCRs played moments from their journey from the early years to the present, the stage camera caught him. His tears finally fell. Not many, just a small, quiet drop. But it was enough to make the entire ARMY in the stadium erupt in emotional cheers. The moment spread across social media within seconds. Taehyung crying in Tampa became a global trend. Many wrote that they were the kind of tears that only come when someone feels truly appreciated. Not from sadness, but from a love so immense and sincere that their chests feel too full to contain them. The concert then unfolded with wonder after wonder. The iconic pirate ship stage lit up throughout the show, creating a visual effect that made ARMY feel like they were sailing alongside them on a new adventure. As the members stood on it, singing nostalgic songs, the stadium felt like another world, one where love, music, and hope merged into one. Every song had its own story. Every dance move evoked old memories. Every ARMY cheer was an affirmation that this bond never fades, despite time, distance, and challenges. And when they delivered their final note, the atmosphere was utterly silent. No one wanted the night to end. The members spoke with complete honesty, expressing how they felt the ARMY support in Tampa like a big hug that warmed their souls. Some laughed, some joked, but others had reddened eyes with emotion. When Taehyung's turn to speak, his voice was soft and slightly trembling. He said, "Seeing Tampa like this, seeing all of you come from so far away, seeing the city turn purple just for us, it's too beautiful. I'll never forget this. Thank you." Instantly, the entire stadium was on its feet. Applause, cheers, and chants of V, V, V echoed so powerfully that they shook the air. It was one of the most historic moments of the tour, a moment that will be remembered as one of the greatest expressions of love between ARMY and the members. As the closing song began, thousands of purple confetti fell from the ceiling. Stage lights shone across the stands, revealing tear-filled faces, raised hands, and smiles that would last a lifetime. Tampa that night was no longer just a city. It had become a symbol of global love that could not be extinguished. And when the concert ended, ARMY remained. They sang one of BTS songs without music, together, with just their own voices. The vibrations were so strong, and the members came back out onto the stage, smiling, bowing, and putting their hands to their hearts.